Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. Great to have you with us on this Tuesday. Got a great show lined up today. Mark doesn't even know this yet, but at the end of the show, I've got a great topic in the last segment. And I'm going to do a couple things today I don't do very often. It's a story about my wife. Uh-oh. How much trouble am I getting in today, buddy?
Oh, man, you got to wait, man. The whole hour. You got to wait till the very last segment to get that one.
Dude, it is so funny. It's like one of my greatest achievements in my marriage. It happened yesterday, and it was so fun. And I can't wait to share it with everyone. It really is just a funny story, but I think you're going to like that. We've got that for you. We also have the reverse effect of people losing their jobs. We have a conservative in media that quit over the reaction from their boss and how they worked in their support of Charlie Kirk. This is a great story. We'll share that one with you coming up at 10:30. It has to do with a reporter somewhere here in the Midwest at a TV station. But we begin today with something, to be quite honest, that a lot of days I come in and whatever my lead topic is, I can't wait. I want to talk about it. I've picked it for a reason, whatever. And every now and then, maybe once a month, there's something you have to address and talk about that maybe isn't your favorite thing. And that's what this is today. Because I can't see this T-shirt story that continues with the Chiefs about Travis Kelce, Tyquan Thornton, and others that wore these Rashee Rice T-shirts on Sunday before the game that said free and had the numeral 4 and then his picture on it and the whole deal. I can't see that and sit here and get outraged at the players because players are dumb. They do dumb things. Not all players are dumb, but a lot of players are dumb. And they go for social media clicks, and they're trying to make a statement, and they like to impress their teammates, and I get it. It's dudes in a locker room. It's football. It's always been this way. It's not generational. It has nothing to do with today's players versus the older players. None of that. None of that. This is what they do. We're a team. We're supporting you, whatever. For the most part, they have no idea how to support one another. Like, it was a really silly thing for Vinny Pasquantino to have some sort of a bet with Salvador Perez this year that, hey, if we get to 500, I'll do like cornrows in my hair or something like that. If we get to 500, that's a silly thing. Now, the Royals were 4 or 5 games under. Then they got there. Then they got above 500. And he did this with his hair. And it stayed in like 2 days. And it made a lot of social media, and it was fun, and it's engaging. And I'm guessing the teams, in some ways, like this stuff because it gets people talking about you. But it's silly. Players aren't, well, they're not, they're ball players. Again, some are very smart, go on to successful careers afterwards. Others just they won the gene pool. You know, you win the gene pool of life, you have the ability to go play at a high level a certain sport, and you make a lot of money. That's great. That's great. But these players, I don't think were thinking. I don't think they wanted to do something nefarious, but they always, this is very important, they always want to make a statement. They wouldn't put it on if they weren't making a statement. Now, the statement may have been internal. It may have just been for Rashee. But I think Travis Kelce should know more than that at this point in his career. And Travis Kelce knows no matter what he wears, no matter where he goes, no matter what he does, his fiance has a rolling bulletproof wall that she walks behind. They know that their every move is scrutinized. Travis Kelce knew the T-shirt would go viral, that he was wearing it, that millions and millions of people would see it. Somebody needs to ask Travis Kelce because he dodged the media, and apparently he's going to just do stuff on his podcast now, which is lame, weak sauce. Somebody needs to ask him, were you making a statement? What do you mean he should be free? He's not in jail. He has to serve 30 days. He could have killed somebody. He was driving 120 miles an hour. There have been players in the NFL that have killed other people driving fast or driving recklessly. Rashee Rice is getting 6 games. If one of those people died, he would have never played football again. He would have been in jail for vehicular manslaughter for years and never played football again. Ask yourself this. Is the shooter in Utah last week any different if he'd shot and missed? Was the Crooks kid that shot Trump in the ear and didn't kill him, is that really a different crime than actually hitting your target and killing your target? The outcome is, but the crime is the same. That's kind of what the Rashee Rice thing is here. He got lucky. And for the Chiefs to be complaining that he's out for 6 games is pathetic. For fans to be upset, it's pathetic. Get over it. The guy did something very serious, and he's paying a 6-game price. That seems small. He wrecked 6 cars, and 4 people were hurt. One of them was a person riding in an Uber just trying to go to like their sister's house for a birthday party. The whole thing's absurd and ridiculous. So Travis Kelce knew it would be a statement. But I'll let them go. They're players. Andy Reid's response is one of the saddest things I've ever heard him say. And he's disappointed me many times before. Andy Reid, we talk about politicians and people living in bubbles. Nobody I've ever met lives in more of a bubble than Andy Reid. We don't really see him at a bunch of charity or public events. We don't see him out in the community much. We see cheerleaders, we see players, we see all these. Nope. We see him on State Farm commercials, Skechers, and coaching football on Sundays. He's a football coach. He has the right to do that. He is a legendary Hall of Fame, great football coach. There is more to being the head coach, the highest paid guy in the league, the most accomplished person in your profession, anyone in America. All of these things are true about Andy Reid, but there's something else that goes with the job. And that is understanding that you're the CEO of this football team. You're the face of this team. When somebody asks you something, you don't slough off the answer in 23 seconds and say, oh, they just love the kid. That's all they were trying to do. It's not anything more than that, I don't think. No, Andy's pissed. Let me tell you what's going on at Arrowhead right now. He is pissed off those players wore that thing. He didn't know there will be punishment dealt out to these players, and Andy is livid. But he should have said that. He's also really mad at his team for sucking right now and dropping passes, 14-point swings, overthrowing wide-open receivers, penalties, missed blocks. Anyone with the jersey number 74, he hates. He's not happy. So maybe he thought, I'm going to get asked about this and I'm going to slough it off because I don't want to go down this road of getting really upset here in front of the media. But it's sort of his job. And if he didn't want to say, look, I didn't know about this and I'm mad at these guys, I think that would be great for us to know. And it certainly for Andy Reid would be a lot better than the lame-ass answer that he gave. But Andy Reid has proven time and time again as head coach of the Chiefs, he's not very good at things off the field now, is he? He doesn't know how to handle them. He doesn't know what to say. He maybe is a little shy or nervous in the media about saying the wrong thing. I could respect that. I wish he'd articulate that. I wish someday he'd just go on a long diatribe and say, listen, I hate this stuff. I'm not very good at it. I get really nervous and upset trying to comment in the media about things that aren't football. I don't like talking about my son crashing that car, almost killing that girl. I don't want to talk about whether there was alcohol in our building that night. I don't like scandals. I don't want to talk about any of these problems we've had with these players. I don't want to talk about Rashee Rice getting arrested. I'm not good at this. I'd at least have some respect for it if that's what he believes. But I think he thinks he's good at it and just doesn't have to do it, that he's above it. And he is not above this. This team in this city means way too much to 2.5 million people for the head coach to collect that paycheck that he collects and do what he does and slough stuff like this off. Because the follow-up question is, really? So what would happen if you got Tyquan Thornton, young guy, wearing this shirt? Have you talked to him about not speeding at 120 miles an hour on I-435 and potentially racing and hurting some people here? Does the team know that it's not okay, Andy? Have you ever had a moment with your team where you said, this sucks, Rashee's not going to be here, but damn it, you can't go driving around town 120 miles an hour racing your cars? Have you done that, Andy? If you have done that, say it. If you have not done that, what you said yesterday is pathetic. He's got a history of this. He's Teflon, bulletproof. It's the ultimate bubble. He sits high atop the big corner office. I'm sure the owner's afraid of the guy. The only person I'd hold to a higher standard on something like this would be Clark Hunt. He does own the team. But Clark Hunt would have said something really articulate and thoughtful and has made comments about Rashee Rice making a mistake. Andy had some platitudes and said, yeah, Rashee knows that what he did was wrong, whatever. But do his teammates know what he did was wrong? Because it doesn't look like it to me that anybody in there thinks this is wrong. They think it's cool. They think it's culture, young culture in America. I'm a rebel, man. I got me a Lamborghini and a Corvette, and we're out here racing each other at 120 miles an hour, and we don't care about anybody else because we're in the National Football League and we're special. That's what they're saying. They can't scream it more loudly. We're special and you're not, and we'll do what we want. And Andy sounded like that yesterday with his response. The kid, he gets into this tone, the kid. He's not a kid. He's an adult millionaire with a high-profile job and a boatload of responsibility, and he has let you down, Andy, in a lot of ways. Every coach has players that let him down. I understand. How you handle it going forward is everything. What I want to know, because what I think Andy's old school coaching culture, which was accepted for many generations of football, I think he knows he's doing things today that other coaches don't do, can't do, won't do. They're a different generation. I think he accepts this as part of the job, doesn't necessarily condone it, but doesn't really care that much. Understands the boys will be boys. There's going to be some trouble. There might be some domestic problem over here. There could be a driving thing over here. There could be DUI over here. It's just part of the job. It's all white noise to him at this point. It feels to me like Andy Reid, this is my opinion, it feels to me like Andy Reid accepts this stuff, that it's just okay with him. I don't care. Just give me my player back after 6 games. Let's keep playing. I don't care. And he's really not mad at the players on the team for making those shirts and wearing those shirts. What he's mad about is it came back to him, that it became a thing that Andy has to deal with. That's Andy's problem, is that he has to deal with it. He doesn't care what the players do as long as he doesn't have to deal with it. I don't want you in my office. I don't want my PR people coming in here saying, you got to be ready for this question today because this guy did this. He didn't want any of that. That's what really bothers him, is when it's on his plate. And boy, that answer was dripping with, this shouldn't be on my plate, and it is. Not that he cares that there's a free 4 t-shirt. It's that, now this is my problem. And that's dead wrong. 913-408-7957. If you have an opinion on this, give me a shout. We got a lot of great topics ahead. This is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio.
Whether you're a Jayhawk, Wildcat, Tiger, or KC Roo, we won't cancel you. Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled, on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM.
Hey, we're back on Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio, brought to you by bestofferkc.com, helping you leave the hassle behind. A lady named Stacy called their team in tears recently. She and her kids were living in a dangerous, abusive home, and she needed to move quickly. They got her moved quickly and safely, and she called back several weeks later and, crying again, said, "I can't believe how much better my life is. Thank you so much for understanding and helping me out when I had something so much bigger and more important than trying to show my house, work with a realtor, do whatever." Best Offer KC just handled it, got the house sold, got her paid, and she started a new life elsewhere. That's what they're all about. They help people move forward with dignity, care, and hope. It's bestofferkc.com, 816-338-SOLD, bestofferkc.com, helping you leave the hassle behind. So outside a New York courthouse today, there are people holding signs that say "Free Luigi." Luigi Mangione, the United Healthcare CEO killer. I mean, that's part of the tone deafness of this Chiefs t-shirt thing, is when you do that, it just, the whole thing has about, I think the first ones were probably "Free OJ," weren't they? Were the first things we ever saw "Free OJ" when they finally apprehended him and took him into custody. It just is a terrible look when you do this. About somebody who's committed a crime, been convicted of the crime, and owes jail time, you're complaining that he's not playing football. It just doesn't really work well with me. The other thing is, the Chiefs Sunday night, they know this. Andy knows this. This will not be spoken. They'd never say this publicly. Their season is on the line. If they lose, they're done. They're not making the playoffs. I'm going to tell you right now, they go to 0-3, losing to the Giants. 0-2 against two good football teams where you came up short because you made mistakes. Looks like something you can clean up. You go to New York and you lose to the Giants. Now you're an 0-3 team that looks like you're not going to beat very many people. And if they start 0-3, they got to go 11-3 the rest of the way to make the playoffs. And they don't look anything like that. This is a tough week at Arrowhead. The last thing they needed was a distraction and this kind of stuff, but they brought it on themselves. To the phones we go. Steven is up first. Hi, Steven. You're on Uncanceled.
Hey, Kev, I'm sure you'll get to it later, but I want to congratulate Ty Masterson for doing the right thing and calling for this KU lady to get fired.
Yeah, what takes so long? She said Charlie Kirk is perfect in the ground as worm food or something to that effect. What takes so long for this to happen?
Well, this is Berkeley Midwest.
Yeah, but K-State's been in trouble the last couple of weeks with wackos too. It's not just KU.
Well, I talking about this Andy Reid thing. I mean, the narrative is getting in the way of their actual actions. That's my problem with this thing. I was watching The Kingdom, and it looked good. I mean, obviously, Patrick Mahomes is executive producer, so you're only going to get what they want you to see. But now their actions are starting to belie their. They've all got their money. They've all got the bag. They don't have to try that hard anymore. I mean, sure, they could equal the Bills' record of 4 Super Bowls in a row, but when you're going, I'm sorry if people disagree, if they don't want to hear it, but when you drop a touchdown to win the game, and then you go partying the night after, right afterwards, your actions, it's like Mayor Lucas. He looks great. He looks like a great mayor. He gets all the deals. He gets all the money. But when you look at his record, he's for reparations. He's for work permits for illegals. The Chiefs are falling into this trap here, where you are doing things publicly, in private, different from what you are putting out there publicly, and people are going to stop believing
I'll defend their right to go out to dinner. I don't know what kind of a party. If they stayed up till 4 a.m. and got all hammered or something, that's a whole different deal. But I'll defend their right to go out to dinner. They've got private lives. I'm okay with that. But I think what's happened is it feels like the circus is in town. And to me, maybe the thing that really crossed the bridge for me or was just too much was this rolling bulletproof wall that apparently Taylor Swift was behind. I'm like, seriously, the circus is in town. What's going on in Arrowhead? This is they're preparing more for a big celebrity to have a bulletproof rolling wall than they are for a football game, is what it looked like to me.
Let me tell you, these guys, They are at the top of the news sports pyramid mountain.
They are, and they know it.
For Everest Base Camp. Everybody knows it. And my only slight disagreement with you, they think they're bulletproof, but they're not. Because if you get to this stage, if you're at 28, we start at 25,000 feet every year to go to the Super Bowl. We're already there. They are going to tear you down. So if any of these guys are listening, they will, at this level, they will tear you down so fast. You got to clean up what you're doing.
Oh.
Everybody has got to get right and clean up because they will tear you to pieces when you are at this level.
You got it. Thank you for the call. I got more, Stephen. That's great stuff, and we can compare cities and media and say, okay, this isn't Philadelphia or whatever. It doesn't matter. The Chiefs are a national. All right, if this thing implodes, it's going to be ugly. You're going to feel you won't believe the things that are going to be said about the Chiefs nationwide if they lose Sunday night. It's going to be absolutely ugly. John's in Lewisburg on KCMO. Hi, John.
Hey, Kevin. You were the only person who called out the truth about Andy Reid with his family. And the sad reality is he is coaching the Chiefs like he raised his sons.
Well, I'm not going to go there, and that's not what I said at the time. What I said at the time was his sons don't belong coaching on the team. They're not football coaches, and just because they've been, convicted of a crime and they have to have a job to stay out of prison, you're not the person to give them a job. Find somebody else.
Okay, my next question would be this: When do the Kansas City Chiefs walk away from Travis Kelce? He's unfocused.
Yeah.
He's uncontrollable emotionally.
Right.
They're never going to walk away?
I got to stop you right there because I'm up against a break. The answer is never. He's going to retire on his terms, and it feels like right now it will be after this season.
Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled. 10 to 11 a.m. on 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio.
All right, we're back on Uncanceled. Thanks for being with us on this great Tuesday morning. Beautiful day. Nice week ahead. Could get some rain. Looking forward to that. We'll get back to the phones in a moment. We got a lot of folks that want to chime in on the previous topic, but I want to share a story with you before we do that about something that I came across yesterday that was inspirational to me, and I was extremely proud of this young woman who is in our field in broadcasting and what she did. I'll give you the backstory, then I'm going to play a clip here of her on the air at ABC 20 in Springfield, Illinois. Her name is Benny Ray Harmony, and she apparently had a very first job at Turning Point USA with Charlie Kirk as her boss. She was doing the news, the local news, about Charlie Kirk's death, and said, I'm going to spend a moment or two to speak personally about this, and I'll tell you what happened after she did this live on the air.
Much for tuning into Marketplace today. So I want to talk about something for a minute, and it is heavy, so please bear with me. I want you to know that it's okay if you feel sadness. It's okay if you're grieving. 2 days ago, I lost a mentor, my first boss, the first person who made me believe in myself, that encouraged me to chase this dream that you're watching right now, Charlie Kirk. There's a lot going on in our world right now, in our country, but I want to say one thing. Lean on your neighbors. Speak up for what you believe in. I don't care what it is. I want to share with you one of my favorite sayings that Charlie would always tell us at the office. He would yell it from the mountaintops, so please listen. When conversations stop happening, when individuals become wordless, that's when violence begins. So, if you do one thing today, make it be with passion, with conviction. Stand up for your friends, stand up for your beliefs, and speak loudly, even if your voice shakes. Your words have meaning, your values have purpose. Never forget that. Thank you, CK. You changed my life.
Her name is Benny Ray Harmony. That's ABC 20 in Springfield, Illinois. She was suspended for that. Now, there always can be a story you don't know. Maybe she's the conservative in the newsroom that's been rocking the boat against the news director or whomever. And her words of speak out no matter what you believe, whatever, rang a little too true to management. But I don't care. You don't punish that employee for that. That was real. That was raw. That was uncensored. It was on the teleprompter. She was reading it, and there was a picture and graphic of Charlie Kirk behind her. The rest of the news team was with her on this. Somebody approved doing it. She didn't go rogue. She got suspended. She went home and she thought about it and said, I've got 2 middle fingers. I'm going to put them both up. And she quit. I can't respect her more. She's going to do just fine. Somebody's going to find her. And I don't know, maybe she goes back to Turning Point. I don't know what her career goals are or anything like that. But this is the reverse of people we've seen losing their jobs for hate. And more than hate, it's the despicable things that they say and the callous nature of which they comment about somebody who got shot with a high-powered rifle in the neck in front of millions and millions of people, not just the 3,000 sitting in front of him. We can easily say those people deserve to be fired. They don't have to be fired. There's plenty of companies that won't fire people that do that, but there's plenty of companies that will. And I think we're into the thousands by now. I've seen some different sites online of 178 people have been fired. No, it's way more than that. We're into the thousands. We don't know how many people have been fired. You don't know. You can drive around Kansas City and stare off in a building and go, I wonder if anybody got fired in there. I bet they did. Because they posted something on Facebook and the owner's like, no, this is not happening. No. But this woman told shared a personal story and said, I want to do something different. This isn't straight news. This is me. I'm a human being. And I worked for the man. He was my first boss. And I loved him. And he was great to me. And I'm sharing this. And I'm crying. And I'm sniffling. And she got suspended for that. If nothing else in broadcasting, that's ratings gold. It's publicity gold. You have somebody who knows. Make her an expert. Do a 30-minute special on Charlie Kirk and ask her everything about him. Bring your lead anchor in and say, tell us everything you know about this man. boy, did they blow that, and did she get it right. Proud of her. Proud to be in the same industry as her for sure. All right, let's go back to the phones, and we've got Mike in Mission on Uncanceled this morning. Hi, Mike. What's up?
Hey, Kevin, that was very touching, and I agree with your comments on that young lady, and I think she'll do fine also. Okay, so in this previous discussion, you said one word, which I think is the word to focus on and raises the question, and that word is culture. My question is, these athletes get to be playing. They've lived their whole life, or a big part of their life has been to get in the NFL. They're in the NFL, and they can't curb their behavior that they have learned or that they want to identify with in a culture, a counterculture that says it's okay to drive 100 and some odd miles an hour down a highway, that says it's okay to drink and drive. Look at Aaron Hernandez. Now, I know that's,
extreme,
a little more extreme, but he scores a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and that night he's out drunk riding around with a bunch of guys gunning people down. It's like, dude, you're in the NFL. Get a grip.
This is nothing new, but the comparison that I've always made here is an actor named Macaulay Culkin, who kind of went off the rails. He was a child star. He was in Home Alone. He became incredibly famous, made a lot of money, did all these things as a kid. We've seen this over and over in Hollywood, that child actors frequently, not always, Ron Howard certainly hasn't had this problem. He was a child actor and has become one of the greatest directors of all time and has been in Hollywood for his entire life. So not all of them, but many child actors can't handle this. And they get to adulthood. What they've had is a childhood where everyone tells them yes. So these athletes, what's important to know, not all of them, but 80% at least, maybe 90%, that have made it to the level of playing for the Kansas City Royals or the Kansas City Chiefs, they have, since they were 10 years old, been special. They've been better at their sport than all the other kids. Their coach always tells them yes. They get an extra scoop of ice cream. They drive a nicer car. The colleges come and offer money. Then there are girls. Then there are teachers. There's straight A's when they don't go to class. There's money everywhere. When you're the star of the team, you don't live in the world of the rest of us. You just don't. And they don't understand the rest of the world until they're out of football. The flip side of this for football players is it's a brutal sport. The second you can't play, all right, the second they kick you to the curb, you're gone. It's ruthless. What happens to them after sports is the worst slap in the face wake-up call of any careers anywhere in America, because it's coming. It doesn't happen with actors. The actors always have a hope that, hey, I can get a job when I'm 50. I can act in a sitcom. I can go do this or go do that, or a singer or whatever. Not with players. Once it's over, it's over. And they're all desperate to find something else that is even remotely as fulfilling as being the superstar making tens of millions of dollars. That part is really hard. The part where they're playing right now is way too easy. Nobody tells them no.
I just think once you get that far, there's a lot of ways to have fun rather than trying to be a thug.
I can't disagree with that, buddy. It's a great point. I can't disagree with anything of what you're saying. I've just been around it look, the first year I covered the Chiefs was 1985. Okay? So I've been around the Chiefs for a long, long time. Some things don't change. Star players are spoiled. They live in a different world. Some get it in certain ways. Like Patrick Mahomes has been taught mostly by his agents and his team around him, all right, that there are things that there's a right way and a wrong thing. To me, Patrick Mahomes is like what Tiger Woods was. It's very corporate. It's very contrived. Everything he does is for the sponsor or for this camera. It's controlled. When he wants to get away, he can get away and be out of the public eye. Same thing with Taylor Swift. She's a very controlled corporate entity. I believe Taylor Swift is in charge of her own corporate entity. I don't think Travis Kelce has any idea how to handle what it is that he's going to be, but she can help him a lot. All right? Maybe his agent wasn't. But Patrick Mahomes, when he got drafted, listened to the people that his mom trusted from his agency, and they guided him through all this. And he takes instruction very well from them. And it's served him beautifully. But does that mean he knows the real world like the rest of us? Probably not. Probably not. But I don't think he's going to do something stupid like driving 120 miles an hour or any of these other crazy things. It's not hard to say that for many of these players, this isn't easy to deal with. We watch parents in restaurants give a device to their young child so the child will stop engaging them and they can just have a quiet evening and not hear the kid talk. We've seen games at tables and stuff for years. Cracker Barrel has the peg game. Anything to, make the kid happy while we're sitting here trying to have a meal or whatever. We're appalled when we're in the grocery store line and a parent grabs an unruly kid by the arm and tries to reprimand them. Because what we're taught in public and around everybody else is just appease the kid. Give him a piece of candy. Tell him yes. Do whatever in front of other people. That's what this is. It's just continuing to feed candy and sweets to professional athletes. Again, not all of them. There's a gazillion guys out there in that locker room that don't need any of this. They get it. They understand. And they appreciate, especially like offensive linemen are famous for this. And we saw this with Trey Smith. And when he got his contract and the comments he made about his dad raising him and what they'd been through, it was the most grounded, real-world thing you've ever seen. Well, they're incredibly, incredibly wealthy. And he is great at what he does. And he could easily just walk around like he's the king of the world. But he doesn't really do that. Offensive linemen have kind of a different culture about them. And so I love pointing that out. We know that wide receivers are divas. It's sort of who and what they are. I don't know why it's that way. It just is that way. But it's not good for any human being to be told yes their whole life and just given things. Oh, yeah. Hey, just get healthy and play Sunday. Here, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? These people, the second they walk in the door, there's a staff of 50 people that will do anything for them. I got this little cricket mic. Oh, come on in here, get on the table. We'll get you rubbed down. We'll get the oil on there, the massage. We got a team of people who are going to, oh, you got a tight neck. Let's get 3 people working on your tight neck. It's unbelievable. You need your hair cut? He's right over here. I mean, your toenails trimmed? It doesn't matter what it is. You're just, we make fun of the royal family in England because we're like, what do they do? Just cater to these people all day? There's nobody more catered to than professional athletes. Globally, not just the United States. Soccer players are treated this way globally too. And it's just part of it. It is hard to explain, but it's not the real world. I think Andy Reid knows the real world. I think his background and his upbringing, I think he's been through enough as a coach, as a father, as a player, as whatever in his life to know what the real world is. I just don't think he cares for it anymore. I think he's checked out on it. I don't think he wants to do any of that. I think he just wants to coach his team on the field every afternoon, and I think he wants to go out on Sundays and coach. And I just don't think he wants to deal with this. I think he's tired of the Rasheed Rices. I think he's tired of players putting T-shirts on. I think he's tired of all this stuff. And when the question comes up, he just dismisses it. Like, no, that's not, no. Ask me a football question. And I just don't think that's good enough. I don't think that's acceptable. I think there's more to it. I think the Chiefs, as an organization, as the ownership, or Mark Donovan as the president, I think they understand their place in this community is far different than we don't have to address this. We'll just say, they just love the kid, the poor kid. The kid, well, let's frame him as the kid. Oh, the poor kid, they just love him. It's nothing more than that. Oh, that's more than that. They wouldn't put it on if they weren't trying to make some sort of statement. Yeah, they're trying to make a statement. I just think this deserves more than that. I don't want to make too big of a deal out of it. This is a big week, man. I'm telling you, the Chiefs season is on the line this week. It may not be the most important thing to you. You're listening to a news talk station. There's Charlie Kirk, politics, American exceptionalism. These things are all probably far more important to you than your football team. But this thing is such a fabric of our community. Know this, okay? It is a tough week at Arrowhead. They're 0-2. The Chargers look great. The division doesn't even, at this point, doesn't even look winnable to me. And it's very early to say that. A lot of things can change. Injuries happen. Justin Herbert gets hurt. That certainly changes the Chargers season. But they look really, really good right now. Chiefs are essentially 3 games out of winning the division. They've only played 2 games, and they're 3 back because they don't have the tiebreaker. They got to win 3, and the Chargers got to lose 3 to win the division at this point. It's not easy, and you can't control what the Chargers do. And they know, they will not speak about that. They know their season is on the line Sunday night. This is the must-win of any good team in the NFL this week. They lose the game on the road to the Giants. They come back and play the Ravens. Okay. Now what? Now you're looking at 0-4. Forget about it. This thing can be over in 10 days. If they go out and play poorly and sloppy and lose decisively Sunday night, it could be over in 5 days. It's tense. Maybe that's why Andy didn't comment. I don't know, but the last thing they needed was this and attention on other things and rolling bulletproof walls with Taylor Swift. I don't understand any of it. It just feels like the circus is in town. We'll check in with Mark. Never a circus. Next, I got a story about my wife. You're going to love this one, Mark. We'll do it next on Uncanceled.
It's Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled, on 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio.
Uncanceled is brought to you by our friends at bestofferkc.com, helping you leave the hassle behind. If you'd like to get hold of bestofferkc.com to sell a house quickly, call 338-SOLD. That's 816-338-SOLD for bestofferkc.com, helping you leave the hassle behind. Mark Van Sickle. Here we go. I'm not talking about like you're watching a football game and you think the toe's on the white and she thinks it's in the green and, oh, you were right, I was wrong. I'm talking about you've been told something. You did something. Something happened, and this is just fact. Here's what it is. And then later she comes to you, Mark, and says, I'm sorry. I was wrong. You were right. I apologize. When was the last time that happened?
Oh, man, I don't know.
It's a rare day for guys.
Yeah, I should probably know a date and time.
Yes.
But I can't think of it off the top of my head.
We should track these, but we're going to need a separate computer to keep track of
Yeah.
the dates and the years. So I didn't actually get the apology, but we're starting to walk again with my dog who had the surgery, and he's doing better. And we can only walk a certain distance, but it's past the mailbox and up around the clubhouse, right? So I like going along. I'm going to grab the mail. I've been expecting something in the mail from somebody that owes me something that has been owed for 2 weeks that's not arrived yet, but I won't go into that. I'm going to apparently have to make a phone call on that or send an email or something. But anyway, I'm checking to see if it's there, right? And I get the mail and I go, oh, crap. She says, what? I said, this says Colorado Department of Transportation. We had driven through Arizona, Nevada, Utah, and Colorado on our way back from vacation. And she says, what? You got a ticket. You got a ticket.
Oh, no.
I said, no. I don't think those things give you tickets. I think it's the toll booth.
Yes.
I owe the tolls. Mm-hmm. And she goes, oh, no, you were driving really fast. They got you somewhere. So we finish our walk, and we're back home a few minutes later. I just had these in my pocket. I open the envelope, and I open it up. It's a $75 fine for driving in the wrong lane that you had no right to drive in Denver on August 31st at 5:20 p.m. And I don't know what it is that you need, some sort of a pass or something in a certain lane.
The far left lane. Yeah,
it wasn't an HOV lane because we had 2 occupants and a dog. Mm-hmm. And I said, 5:20, August 31st. I said, that's Denver. We're checking into our hotel. Jessica drove the last 2 hours to the hotel, and we checked in. And I'm like, Jessica, where are you? She's in the bedroom. She goes, in here. I walk in. I said, here, you owe $75 to Colorado Department of Transportation.
Oh, man.
We drove 9 hours that day. I drove 7. She drove the last 2. And she got popped with that. And then I had to say, listen, sweetie, you got 2 weeks to pay it or they're going to double it.
Yeah. I have not gotten a ticket for that. I did get the going through the toll road there in Denver.
Yeah.
Which is the most expensive toll in America.
Yeah.
One of them.
Hey, maybe she went through the wrong road for the toll. Maybe she avoided the toll.
Well, in Denver, they have one lane that you have to have a tag on. I think they're doing that on 69 Highway.
Maybe that's what she was in and she didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's
so
7. John says yes, that's exactly
we're all going to have to watch out for that at 69 Highway here in a couple of years.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So $75. After I was told that I had a big fat speeding ticket coming my way.
They had just opened that when we were there a couple summers ago, and they hadn't been taking pictures of license plates yet, but they said it was coming in the next couple months.
Yeah.
So she got hit on that one.
The photo's right there. They show you the picture of your car, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, 5:20, August 31st, Denver. Yeah, she drove the last 2 hours into Denver. This is all her.
Well, at least she's got the $75 to cover.
I'm sorry. I can't stop laughing. And you know what? I'm sorry, ladies that are listening. Every other guy listening is laughing with me. You know what a glorious win that is in a marriage.
Oh,
That's like the ultimate win. It's just great.
It's fun.
Fantastic. Oh, how about this? Hulk Hogan, Brooke Hogan is the daughter, and she didn't get any of the inheritance. They had their differences, but they loved each other. It wasn't a really bad one-incident giant split, and she's made her way on her own with her and her husband and said for a long time, I don't need anything from you, Dad. I'll be okay. She didn't inherit anything. The brother, Nick, got it all. Did you see how much his fortune was worth?
No.
$5 million. How did Hulk Hogan only had $5 million? I would have thought he had a $5 million house.
No. Lawsuits, maybe?
Must be. Wow. And Robert Redford died at age 89. My favorite movie that he was in was The Sting. Most people would say The Natural, I think. Early sports fan. Rest in peace, Robert Redford. The Vince Show's coming up next.